Good morning everyone. Today we shall discuss the topic sexually transmitted diseases. These diseases are also known as venereal diseases or reproductive tract infections. Okay, for sexually transmitted diseases we can also use STD, or as I told you, they are also known as reproductive tract infections, that is RTI. Okay, now as the name suggests, sexually transmitted diseases. So these are the diseases that are transmitted, that are transferred from one person to another person through sexual intercourse. Am I clear? Now, example of sexually transmitted diseases, or I can say venereal diseases or RTI, that is reproductive tract infections, are gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, genital warts, AIDS, the most dangerous one. These all are examples of sexually transmitted diseases. Now, if I talk about AIDS, AIDS is a sexually transmitted disease that is caused by HIV virus. HIV stands for human immunovirus. This is a virus that causes AIDS, and AIDS, that is autoimmunodeficiency syndrome. Now, if I talk about AIDS and hepatitis B, no doubt these two diseases, they are transmitted through the sexual intercourse with an infected person, but there are some more reasons through which these two diseases can also be transferred. Okay, one such method or one such way is from an infected mother to her offspring or to her baby. Okay, if the mother is suffering either from HIV or from hepatitis B, then if she is pregnant having a baby in her womb, then that baby, he or she can catch this disease. Clear? Second way of transfer of this disease, as I told you, through the sexual intercourse with an infected person. Now third way is by transfusion of blood from an infected person. Okay, if a particular person is suffering from AIDS or hepatitis B and the blood of that infected person, okay, it is transfused into the body of a normal healthy person by mistake or due to any other kind of reason, then that healthy person will also suffer from the same disease in future. So third reason is, third way of transfer of sexually transmitted disease, these two disease basically, is by infected blood. Okay, now next reason is by infected syringes, needles, surgical instruments. If the syringe is being used on an infected person, if a particular person is suffering from AIDS or hepatitis B, if the needle that is being used on that person, if that same syringe or needle it is used on any other kind of normal person, then that healthy person will also catch that disease. Okay, so these are the various ways through which AIDS and hepatitis B can be transmitted, in addition to transference through the sexual intercourse. Now, if I talk about the symptoms, generally all the diseases, all the sexually transmitted diseases, they show common symptoms, especially in the early phase. Okay, and these symptoms are genital pain, swelling in the genital area, fluid discharge in the genital area. Okay, but there is a major problem with these type of diseases is that, especially in female, sexually transmitted diseases are generally asymptomatic, means there will be no symptom in the early phases. So just think what will happen If the person will not be able to have symptoms, then obviously that person will feel that he or she is fine, right? And if the symptoms are very minor, then again the person will not go and consult a doctor. Especially a societal stigma is attached with these kind of diseases. So a person doesn't feel comfortable, plus a person is not having that particular type of symptoms. Secondly, due to social stigma of our society, the persons generally they don't consult a doctor, and that is the main problem with these kind of diseases. They are generally remained undiagnosed, they are not diagnosed, and if they are not diagnosed on time, they cannot be prevented. Otherwise, except these three diseases, that is AIDS, hepatitis B, and genital herpes, except these three sexually transmitted diseases, the rest transmitted diseases, they are completely curable. But the main problem is that they are not diagnosed on time due to two reasons that I told you. Firstly, the symptoms in these type of diseases, they are generally very minor, especially in the initial stages when the disease can be cured and prevented easily. Okay, cured easily. Second thing, due to social stigma that is concerned with these type of diseases. So now if I talk about these three diseases, these are not curable at all. AIDS, hepatitis B, genital herpes, these are not curable even if they are diagnosed early. So prevention is always better. Okay, prevention is in our hands. No doubt all age group people, they are vulnerable to these kind of diseases, but the people who are in the age group of 15 to 24 years, that is yours age group, these type of people, they are more vulnerable towards sexually transmitted diseases. So prevention is in our hands. Now what are the preventive measures that a person should follow in order to avoid these kind of diseases? First, avoid sexual intercourse with multiple partners, or I can say with the unknown partners. Okay, you never know who is infected one. So avoid sexual intercourse with these kind of persons. Second is try to use condoms during the time of sexual intercourse. They not only avoid conception, plus they help in preventing sexually transmitted diseases, as the fluid from one person, genital fluid from the male, is not able to go into the female, and in the similar way genital fluid of the female is not able to go into the male body. So again, condoms is a better option. They help in preventing STD. Okay, now third one is, if a particular person is having symptoms, even the minor symptoms, if it is genital swelling, genital pain, fluid discharge, then he or she must consult a doctor. Just keeping this societal stigma aside, he or she should consult a doctor timely, and if diagnosed with the particular sexual transmitted disease, then go for the treatment. Am I clear? Thank you. Okay, now let us start the topic infertility. As you know, a large number of couples of India or all over the world, they are infertile. It means they are unable to have babies. The reason for infertility could be physical, psychological, genital, congenital, disease, any kind of disease, drug administration. The reason could be many. But in the society, generally what has been observed, only the female partners, they are generally blamed for this issue, that they are not able to produce children. But this is not so. In major cases, this had been observed. In major cases, the problem lies in the male partner too. So it is the moral duty of everyone not to blame female for this kind of issue. Okay, now if a particular couple is facing infertility problem, then he or she should consult a doctor. There are infertility clinics where they can be diagnosed, and if possible they can be assisted to have babies. But If in case the corrections are not possible, then they can go for some other kind of options, that is assisted reproductive technologies, that is ART. These are technologies that assist in reproduction or that assist in having the babies to infertile couple. Okay, what actually doctors used to do in these type of technologies, like suppose let me talk about the first one, that is in vitro fertilization. In vitro means inside the test tube. So here the fertilization is being done in the test tube. When the fertilization is done in the body of the female, that is known as in vivo fertilization. Okay, so what the doctors used to do, what the professionalists used to do, they used to provide the similar conditions of the body in the test tube, and there they used to induce the fusion of sperm and ovum. Okay, so basically in vitro fertilization, the professionalist, they used to induce the fusion of sperm and ovum in the test tube only by providing the similar conditions that are available in the female body. Now, when the sperm and ovum they are allowed to fuse, then it results in the formation of zygote. As you know, fusion of sperm and ovum results in the formation of zygote. Now this zygote will be formed. Okay, now this is the next method, that is ZIFT, zygote intra-fallopian transfer. Now in this method, this zygote, it is then inserted into the fallopian tube of the female partner, and then the further development of the baby, it will happen in the body of the female only. Now there could be variation in this method. Suppose I told you this zygote, it is inserted into the fallopian tube, that is ZIFT, right now. Now if this zygote is allowed to differentiate, or I can say divide, now what will happen? The zygote will divide into 2, right? Now the 2 cells will divide into 4, and then 4 cells will divide into 8. These 8 cells, these are known as blastomeres. These 8 cells are known as blastomeres. If either the zygote or the embryo at this 8 cell stage is transferred in the fallopian tube, then it is no doubt known as ZIFT, that is zygote intrafallopian transfer. But if the embryo, it is having more than 8 blastomeres, then it is inserted, it is implanted into the uterus. At that particular time, it is not inserted in the fallopian tube. Okay, if more than 8 blastomeres are present, then the embryo is transplanted into the uterus, and this is known as IUT, that is intrauterine transfer. Am I clear? Now next is GIFT, that is gamete intrafallopian transfer. Now what happened actually, in some cases, in a few female, they are not able to produce the ovum or egg. They are having the proper conditions, they can go for the fertilization, they can have the proper condition in the uterus for the implantation, everything is fine, but they are not able to produce ovum due to any reason, that could be physical, psychological, due to any kind of disease, congenital. Okay, so now in that case where the female is not able to produce the gamete, or the same situation could happen with the male partner also, if the male partner is not able to produce the gamete, or the number of sperms that are produced, they are quite less. So in that case, the couples can go for gamete intrafallopian transfer. What happens in this case actually, suppose if I'll talk about a female, that particular female cannot produce an egg. So from a donor, an egg will be taken, then that egg will be implanted into the uterus. Okay, then again the normal procedure will take place. The female will have the sexual intercourse, the sperm will go in the body of the female, ovum is already there in the fallopian tube, and then there is chances of fertilization, and if there will be fertilization, embryo will be formed, and then later on the couple can have the children. Okay, now so this is GIFT, that is gamete intrafallopian transfer. In this technology, gamete is transferred in the body of the male, in the body of the female partner. Clear? Now, the next is ICSI, that is intracytoplasmic sperm injection. In this method, basically this method is done in the laboratories. Okay, in the laboratories, sperms and ovum are taken. Now the injection of sperm, they are given in the ovum. In this way, fertilization is allowed to happen in the laboratories. Then obviously when the sperm will fertilize the egg, there will be formation of zygote, and then the zygote can be implanted in the female body either by this technique or by this technique that I told you earlier. Okay, now the next method is AI, that is artificial insemination. But first of all, what do you mean by the term insemination? In means inside, semen. As you know, sperm, they move in a liquid matrix and togetherly they are known as semen. So basically insemination means the transfer of the semen from the penis of the male to the vagina of the female. Now sometimes what happens due to the lesser number of the sperm count or due to any other kind of problem, the sperms are not being able to ejaculated inside the female's body. Then at that particular case, again fertilization cannot take place and the couples cannot have babies. Okay, so basically in artificial insemination, the same process is done artificially. The sperms are collected from the male partner, okay, and then the same sperms of the male partner, these are injected into the female partner either through the vagina or in the uterus. So now the sperms are there in the female's body. Again, ovum is being produced by the female body. So these sperms, they will, you can say, they will fuse with the egg and it results in the formation of zygote. As I told you, in artificial insemination, the sperms are injected artificially in the body of the female partner either through the vagina or directly in the uterus. If the sperms are implanted and injected into the uterus, okay, then this is known as intrauterine insemination, that is insemination that is being done directly in the uterus. Okay, so these are the different assisted reproductive technologies that can have a couple to have their own child. Am I clear? But there are certain limitations that are linked with these kind of technologies. First is these technologies, they require highly skilled professionals, plus their charges, they are also very high. So obviously their benefit, it is limited only to a few people that can afford this. Okay, along with this, these type of technologies are available only in a few centers in India. So their benefits cannot be used by all the infertile couple. Plus, in India, as you know, so many children are orphaned. They can be legally adopted. So the best way, if a person wants to have a baby, then the best way is to legally adopt a child. Because with these kind of technologies, so many societal, emotional, mental traumas are attached. Plus, they are also costly. They require highly skilled professionals. So why not to go for the orphan children? They also need parents. Maybe these children, they will not be able to survive till maturity unless they are taken care of. So as the ultimate main aim of these type of assisted reproductive technologies is to have a baby. So according to me, the best way is to legally adopt a child. Okay? Thank you.